Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. So today I'm going to be discussing some of the most anticipated games of 2022. Some of them are going to be personal picks of mine. Some of them are going to be games that have been gaining hype and popularity ever since they were first announced. I'm excited for everything on this list, and I hope you are as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so coming up first at number 10, we have DC Suicide Squad. Now, this is the latest game from Rocksteady Studios, who we have not seen anything from them since Batman Arkham Knight in 2015. So it's been a while since we've seen something from them, but they have said that this game does take place within that universe as well. Now, what we do know is that you play as a Suicide Squad, so the gameplay is going to be similar to Guardians of the Galaxy, except you're able to play as every character, whereas in Guardians you could only play as Star-Lord only, but in this game you could play as every single character on the Suicide Squad. And I believe they have said there is going to be co-op as well, which is interesting because the Arkham games did not have co-op. They did have challenge modes and everything and leaderboards, but they did not have co-op, so that could be very interesting to see how this works. Now, what we do know as far as the story goes is that the Justice League has been corrupted by Brainiac, and it's up to the Suicide Squad to take them out. Now, that's going to be a little complicated for some of these characters like the Flash, Wonder Woman, and even Superman, because those three characters are pretty powerful. So I'm curious to see how the Suicide Squad will be able to take on those three characters. But you can expect this game in 2022, sometime in 2022. They haven't really said when the game is coming out, but we do know it is going to be in 2022. So be sure to be on the lookout for that game. All right, next up, coming in at number 9, we have Evil Dead the Game. Now, I was shocked when they announced this game last year, and I just didn't think we'd ever get another Evil Dead game because the last 3 we got were kind of hit or miss. I mean, Hail to the King was a Resident Evil knockoff. I mean, it was fun, but the gameplay and controls were kind of janky, so that one isn't the best to play. And then we had Fistful of Boomstick and Regeneration, which were also very fun games, but again, not the best. So I'm hoping that this one does well. But what I've seen so far in the gameplay is that it is a co-op / PvP style game. It looks similar to the gameplay style of Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th, the game. Now, they did listen to the fans, and the fans were saying, hey, we would like some offline bots as well to basically, if we don't have enough people to play in our game, we want some bots to take the place of those missing players and everything. And I believe they also made the storyline offline as well, because before, when I was reading about the game, it was just basically saying that it was going to be multiplayer only. And I think that's where a lot of the fans were like, hey, we'd really like to play the game offline too, just in case. Because I know, I get it, a lot of people, myself included, we don't like to always play online. We like to sometimes play offline games as well. And I'm glad that they added the bots. I'm glad more studios are doing that, because back in the day with the N64 and playing Perfect Dark and even the PS2 with Red Faction, you had the ability to add bots in your game and just go through and just basically enjoy the game by yourself if you wanted to, if you didn't have, you know, friends that live close by to come play, because back then we didn't have online gameplay. But they have also said that in this game there will be skill trees, weapons from the TV show and the movies, as well as characters from both the movies and the TV show. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to do any Army of Darkness stuff, because there's some licensing issues with that game or that movie, as far as Universal and whoever owns the rights to the other Evil Dead movies and the Evil Dead TV show, which is why they could not do any Army of Darkness references in the TV show. But from what I've seen, there is a guy dressed as a knight. That very well could be the guy that showed up in Ash vs. Evil Dead, for all I know. But you can look forward to getting this game in February, and it will be released for the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and Windows PC. So definitely check that game out, and if you're a fan of Dead by Daylight, you very well might enjoy this game as well. So definitely check that one out. All right, and coming up next at number 8, we have Saints Row. Now, I'm excited for this game, but I should let you know that it is a reboot and not a sequel to Saints Row 4. So keep that in mind, that when this game comes out, it will be a reboot. Now, I am all for reboots of games. I don't mind it. I'm always willing to give everything a chance, and I'm reserving judgment on this game until I have played it for myself. But what do we know about this game so far? We do know that the storyline will be a little more serious and less silly and goofy compared to the last 2 games. As much as I love those two, The storyline was a little all over the place and over the top. I'm just saying that right there. But I still enjoyed both of those games. We do know that there are also going to be new characters altogether in this game. 9 districts that you have to take over in a brand new city. But the gameplay from what we have seen so far looks very similar to the other Saints Row games. Just mayhem and destruction, chaos, crazy weapons, all of that in the game. I'm excited, and I hope you're excited as well. But if you are looking forward to this game, you can definitely check it out August 23rd, 2022 for the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and Windows PC. And I want to say maybe the Switch, but I am not too sure on that. So maybe after the game comes out, they'll release it on the Switch later down the road, but you can expect it on those systems for now. All right, and coming up next at number 7, we have Gotham Knights. Now, this is being made by WB Montreal, who is the same team that worked on Batman Arkham Origins. I know a lot of people did not like that game because it was not Rocksteady, but it was still a very solid Batman game. I enjoyed it very much, and I know a lot of people who did enjoy it as well. It's very underrated if you ask me, but this is the same team that worked on that. However, the gameplay is drastically changed from that, and it's going to be more on the line of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Origins, and even The Witcher, where there's RPG elements where you have to basically level up in order to take on certain enemies who are more powerful than you. At least that's what I saw in the gameplay last year. Have they changed it? I'm not sure, but it does look like it's going to be the similar gameplay to those games as well. We do know that the storyline is basically taking place after Bruce Wayne, sorry, spoilers, after Bruce Wayne has died, and it's up to Tim Drake, Jason Todd, Dick Grayson, and Barbara Gordon to take on the mantle of Batman and basically fight crime throughout the city and take on his rogues gallery such as Mr. Freeze and I believe the Penguin, who we've already seen in the gameplay. And we do know that the storyline is going to include the Court of Owls somehow. Curious to see how that's going to work because they didn't really specify too much on what was going on with that group, but we do know that they are in the game, and it was heavily rumored even before the gameplay was revealed or the game was revealed that the Court of Owls would be in this game. We just did not know how or in what way, but we still don't know, but we do know that they are in the game, and you can look forward to this game sometime in 2022. I believe it is still being released for the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and Windows PC. They haven't said if it's going to change or not, but definitely look forward to it later this year, especially if you're a Batman fan. You will enjoy playing as this game. I know a lot of people will enjoy playing as Red Hood as well, so if you're a Red Hood fan, definitely check this game out later this year. Alright, and coming up next at number 6, we have the Dead Space remake. Now, this is a game series I never thought I would hear again. I never thought we'd see a Dead Space game again because not only did the studio close, but EA didn't seem interested in bringing the series back. But recently, there were a lot of rumors going around saying that Motive, however you say their name, the company that worked on Star Wars Squadrons, was going to be working on a Dead Space remake. Weren't sure what that meant. It was the worst kept secret from EA, like I said. And we finally got that reveal in 2021, I want to say July, when EA did their little late E3 press conference. They finally revealed it. Game looks great. There was some gameplay showing off, and I'm very impressed with how it looks. It is a remake being built from the ground up, from scratch. No remaster going on here. Just a straight up remake. And I think it is a way to test the waters to see if people still want Dead Space. So they figured, why not remake the game instead of remastering it? And I believe it was due to Resident Evil 2 getting remade and doing really well, that EA was like, hey, we could get in on this too, remake one of our most popular games, and the fans will definitely come back and play it. I haven't heard anybody being critical about it. Most of what I've heard is everybody being very excited for this remake. And we do know that it is coming out sometime in 2022 that they said. Not sure when, but definitely be on the lookout for it. I want to say when E3 rolls around in 2022, they will show off some more gameplay, maybe a new trailer, and even hopefully a release date. But don't be surprised if they end up having a release date for 2023 instead. Just keep that in mind that may happen, because it did happen with Dead Space 2. They announced it, I want to say in 2010, and then when it finally got revealed, it wasn't until 2011 that the game came out. So just keep that in mind, that it may or may not come out next year. And the fact that there's no release date leads me to wonder that we might not see it in 2022, but E3 may prove to be a different story. I do know that the game is going to take advantage of the graphical capabilities of the new systems, the haptic feedback of the controller, the ray tracing of both systems. It's going to look great. I can't wait to see this game, but definitely be on the lookout for it. And definitely, like I said, check it out at E3 if they do show it off. We do know as of right now, it's supposed to release sometime in 2022. All right, and coming in at number 5, we have Dying Light 2. This game I could not be more excited for. I loved Dying Light 1. It was my game of the year for 2015. I played that game nonstop in 2015, so I'm excited for the second game. For a while, we hadn't heard anything because the development team came out and said, hey, look, this game is not up to speed, not the version we want to release to you guys. So we had to take a little break on, pumping out news and letting you guys know what was going on with the game. They finally showed it off this year, showed off a lot of the differences from the 2019 version compared to the 2021 version, and it looks amazing. I can't wait. They took everything from Dying Light 1 that I loved and amped it up to 1,000,000 basically. The open world is going to be insane. The dialogue choices are going to be insane because they take advantage of that and they basically determine the outcome of your game, who you feud with, who you faction with, who you make alliances with. I'm excited to see all of that, and I just can't wait to play this game. And you don't have to wait much longer to play this game because it is releasing February 4th of 2022 for the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Windows PC, and even the Nintendo Switch. But I have to say, the Nintendo Switch version is going to be a cloud version, so you will need the internet in order to play the game. As far as I know, there's no way to download it to the console itself. I'm not sure how cloud gaming works with the Switch. I know that Resident Evil 7 did that, and I believe Hitman 3 did that as well. I never played either of those versions, so I can't tell you how it worked, but just know that Dying Light 2 will be a cloud version on Nintendo Switch unless they've changed their minds on that, because I don't think the game will be able to run really well on a cartridge of that size without needing to be installed directly to the system. So definitely be on the lookout for that one as well when February hits. Alright, coming up next to number 4, we have Ghostwire Tokyo. I have no idea what this game's about, but it looks awesome and I'm excited to play it. I've been a fan of Shinji Mikami ever since Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2, even though he didn't work on that one directly, like he didn't direct it, but he did work on Resident Evil 4, Dino Crisis, and the Resident Evil remake. All of those games are awesome. But all we know about this game is that it takes place in Tokyo. There's a lot of demons, a lot of ghosts, a lot of crazy stuff going on. It looks kind of like Shadows of the Damned mixed with Evil Within. So I'm curious to see how that works, but I don't know when we're going to get more info, maybe at a PlayStation Direct, or if Sony goes back to E3, maybe some gameplay reveals there or storyline bits there, but definitely keep an eye out and an ear out for information as it goes throughout the year, because all we know is that it's supposed to release sometime in 2022. I want to say the last thing I heard was that it was coming out in March, but I'm not entirely sure on that, but definitely keep an eye out for that game as well. It is going to be available for PS5 and PC only. Yes, I know Bethesda is making the game, but they were in development before the acquisition of Xbox, so that's why they're still allowed to release the game on PS5. So you can check it out on both those consoles as well. Alright, and coming up next at number 3, we have Horizon Forbidden West. This game has been on my list ever since it was first announced in 2020 at the Sony PS5 reveal event. I was so excited for that game. It looks awesome, and then they finally showed off some gameplay earlier this year, and it just looks even more insane and incredible. It looks like the game's going to be taking place sometime in a springtime of year or a summertime of year, because Aloy and other characters are running around in short sleeves and shorts and everything, but there's new enemies that are just trying to kill everything in sight. Recently they released a mini trailer that showed some of the new enemies, and one of them was a water snake of sorts, and it looked similar to an enemy I saw in Terminator Salvation. Yeah, I know, not the best comparison, but it looked like some of the enemies I saw in that movie, and I can't wait for this game. It looks crazy. And you don't have to wait much longer either, because it is releasing in February, actually February 18th of 2022. So not much longer, right around the corner. Definitely a game to check out, especially if you were a fan of the first game. It's going to be that plus 100. It's going to be awesome. It will be available for the PS4 and the PS5 with a upgrade to the PS5 version when you purchase the PS4. They did say it was going to cost $10, but it's now going to be a free upgrade, and this is the last PS4 to PS5 game that is going to feature a free upgrade path. So keep that in mind, that it will be a free upgrade, and you don't have to worry about paying anything for that. But for future PS4 to 5 games, yes, they will be doing that, which is kind of, it's a whole different story. But you know, if you have a PS5, you do not have to worry about that. You just pop the disc in, install it, and play till your heart's content. All right, and coming up next at number 2, we have Starfield. This has been one of the most anticipated and hyped up games ever since 2018 when it was announced, just because it's the first game from Bethesda in a very long time, and we're not even sure what kind of game it is. A lot of people say, hey, it's going to be Skyrim in space, which I'm totally down for if they want to make Skyrim in space, but we're still not sure. And I know that we can expect Microsoft and Bethesda to show off some gameplay at E3 of this year. And I know they showed off a little bit in E3 2021, but that wasn't a whole lot. They just showed us a release date of November 2022. That's it. And I know that they were going to show off more gameplay at E3 this year. So keep an eye out for that when E3 rolls around in June. But you can expect to get this game in November on Xbox Series X and PC, as well as day one for Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, it's going to be available day one. And that is where I will be playing it, or where I'll be playing it. And I cannot wait for this game. I cannot wait to see more gameplay. Hopefully it is more like a Skyrim, and even if it's a new gameplay style, I am totally cool for that. I'm excited, like I said, and I hope you are as well. All right, and the last game on the list, coming in at number 1, we have God of War Ragnarok. I have been excited for this game ever since God of War 2018. So before the game was even announced at the 2020 PlayStation event, I was excited for this game, because the way God of War 2018 ended, and I won't talk too much about the story, it basically set up a sequel, and it was one of those oh my god moments. The jaw hit the floor and you're just like, what just happened? So then we had a after credits sequence which set up the story for God of War Ragnarok. I'm excited to see what happens. There are characters returning from God of War 2018. There are new characters that you will team up with to fight the other new characters that show up in God of War God of War Ragnarok. Sorry, getting my titles mixed up here. But I'm excited for the game. Gameplay looks great. It looks like they didn't change anything. I'm totally fine with that. There are a few changes here and there, like the sled dogs and everything, but nothing too drastic that's going to be a learning curve to get used to. It's a lot of the same gameplay from the 2018 games, similar to how God of War 1, 2, 3, Ghost of Sparta, Chains of Olympus, Ascension, they all use the same gameplay style, so you didn't have to get reused to anything or learn new moves or anything like that. Now, I'm not saying there won't be new moves in the game, but the control setup is going to be similar to the 2018 game. We do know that it is releasing sometime in 2022. They have not said when, and I would not be surprised if it ends up finding its way releasing in 2023, because Sony doesn't really announce release dates for their big games like that. If you remember, Spider-Man and God of War 2018 didn't have release dates for at least 2 years. They were announced in 2016, and they did not get release dates for another 2 years. So just keep that in mind, that if we don't hear anything by maybe I'd say March, then chances are it might not be releasing this year. But I don't want to say for sure. It could be a fall game. It could be Sony's fall game. Since Horizon is releasing in February, Ragnarok may be the fall game, similar to how Spider-Man was the fall game in 2018 and God of War 2018 was the spring game for Sony. So just keep that in mind. But you can expect to see more of this game, hopefully at a PlayStation Direct or some kind of PlayStation event that they have this year. I'm excited to play it myself. I can't wait, like I said. And it's going to be probably my game of the year whenever it releases. It's going to be my game of the year for sure. So hopefully you're as excited as I am for Ragnarok as well. All right, guys, and that brings us to the end of our list. Did your most anticipated game make the list? If it did, let's discuss it. But if it didn't, I'm still all for discussing. Let me know down in the comments below, what are some of your favorite games you're looking forward to this year? What are you excited for? What you're looking forward to? What you hope to see in certain games? Let me know. Let's discuss. Let's talk about it. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. I'm really looking forward to making more top 5, top 10 videos throughout the year. I know I have a lot of great ideas coming down the pipeline, and I really can't wait to share them with you guys. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, guys, I will see you on the next episode. Y'all have a good one. Take it easy.